More answers, presented by Mazda BT-50. More is more.
Welcome along to our weekly chat, thanks to the Mazda BT-50. And I have to say, Sam Kekovich, what is going on at North Melbourne?
Well,
you're a die-hard, you're a Team of the Century member, and I think you would have even thought, in fact, some person tipped me that you even left 10 minutes before the end of the game. You were that confident it was all over.
I did. I must confess, let me tell you, there is a growing trend that's really alarming and concerning everyone, not the least of all the coach. But the worrying concern is the fact that we have no problem getting a lead and getting to a 5-goal lead, and then for some inexplicable reason we're going to our shell. If you look at the game plan or the pattern of our football in the initial stages, we invariably go through the corridor, and when we get that 4 or 5 goal lead, we play this stupid game of kicking to packs and just opening it up.
A lot of teams do that and they can control it a lot better. But obviously, look, I said during the week that if you won that first game where you lost under a goal, you would have probably won the other 3. But
maybe.
It's happened in other codes. Cronulla did it, the West Tigers. And more importantly, teams can win those games. Geelong find a way to win those games.
There's no doubt there's a
but
psychological
there was no
issue.
excuse. You can't say that the free kick wasn't there. This was just poor defence. Jared Petrenko off the ground, unmarked, last 16 seconds, unforgivable.
And the worrying trend is, of course, that in all those games we led. We didn't have to make up the ground. We led. We could have controlled the situation.
Okay.
But we didn't. So there you go.
It's a worrying sign for the Kangaroos. And also, perhaps, if you're a fan of Hawthorn, or is it that they struggled to get past the Gold Coast? Remember, they had GWS the week before, then the Gold Coast. So maybe it was just one of those back-to-back weeks where they probably wasn't all that flash.
I think you, like everyone else, have read it wrong. I think Hawthorn, there's nothing wrong with Hawthorn. I think the weekend was a defining, pivotal moment in the development of the Gold Coast Suns. I think that was their greatest day in the sun. I know it's a loss, but in terms of really having a sense of belonging and growing up and being able to match with the big boys, this was their moment of arrival. I reckon they really matured, and the pattern of football and muscle and prominence and authority, I think they've really come of age.
Okay, and there were obvious dramas. I need to get your opinion on this. And you played in an era where you were vilified. You were the old school words were thrown your way on many an occasion. We've come a long way since then. And the worrying sign for me was the 16-year-old girl, the grandmother and the friend or the sister, the 13-year-old girl, they didn't even look like they cared that she'd said something wrong.
Oh, look, I've got a very different view of all this. Look, the one constant among all of us is the fact that none of us condone that behaviour. We don't condone the fact that you should vilify all races. The racism is rife, and we should be mindful and sensitive of it. But to actually condemn a young girl who, on the spur of the moment, has got a manic obsession, barracking for a team, and on the spur of the moment let loose with an obscenity of some description, which really wasn't, but, you know...
I'm suggesting that there are a million other words you could have called Adam Goodes.
Exactly right.
She shouldn't have gone down that path.
No, and we don't condone that sort of behaviour.
You could have called him a pig and he wouldn't have cared.
No, exactly right. It's got a toxic connotation, the word that she used. There's no doubt. It's like a chicken.
Could have called him a goat, a horse, or whatever.
Anything.
Let's just get it out of the system.
But I don't think it's
people.
right that a 13-year-old girl should be the face of racism.
You know what? She's not the face, but you know what? I reckon every 13-year-old kid has now said, I don't want to be in her shoes at all. And maybe there's some good, and maybe there's a lot of good that's come out of it. Maybe there's a little short-term pain for a little 13-year-old girl.
If the AFL are fair dinkum, if we've got a zero tolerance, if we've got a 3-strike tolerance on drugs, you know, surely...
We should have a 3-strike tolerance on this as well.
Well, exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
I'm going to say...
Big questions, big answers from the big man, of course, Sam Kekovich, still reeling from that Kangaroos loss. But he'll bounce back, don't worry about that, and we will too. Thanks to the Mazda BT-50. We'll see you next week.